Hello, 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 and welcome to a brand new episode of the Uncovering Greatness podcast. As always, I am your host, Sully, and today I am joined by Nicole Mitchell. Nicole is the lead processor at Uncovering Greatness, and what she helps you do is she helps you get out of your own way, one, and she helps you find out what you want, and she helps you get it. Two very important things. Nicole, how are you?
I'm good, Sully. How are you doing?
I am good. Thank you very much. I have a random question for you because I saw something random. It's random.
Yes.
Do you know that there are dog psychologists?
So yes, I just didn't know they were called dog psychologists. I guess I've always associated it with a behavioral specialist, but it's the same thing. They're a psychologist because they're finding out why the dog behaves the way it does. So yeah.
Yeah, no, the term has changed now. It's dog psychologist.
But it's like subjects at school. It's no longer math.
People just change
People
it.
change names because it feels good.
I saw it online. Somebody's looking for a dog psychologist and I burst out laughing. You're paid to get your dog's head sorted out. You weren't paid to get your own head sorted out. Whew. You've been away for a while. We did a online podcast. How do you feel about it?
Online is challenging. It's I guess on Zoom it's not the same as in person. It is much nicer in person. But yeah, it was a good podcast.
Yeah, the podcast was good. I hated the Zoom thing. It was horrible.
The Zoom thing sucks. Yeah.
It's staring into his. It sucked. So I found out something very interesting, and I thought that this is something we could really discuss on today's episode. And I found out that less and less people are using social media in South Africa. It's globally, but I'm focusing in on South Africa because that's where we are. And I was like, man, that's quite interesting. Why would less and less people be using social media?
Okay, so my question to you is, what is your definition of social media?
Ooh, good question there. So my definition of social media would be your traditional platforms, so your Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, YouTube.
Okay.
That would be my sort of areas.
So if less and less people are using social media,
Yeah.
what are they using? Like, how are they connecting with people?
So basically from this study is like people are actually not. So people are actually connecting less and less, even in real life. So they just...
So, and the reason why I asked you is because my observation with young people today is there are more and more people, and it's not just young people. Certainly in the last few weeks, I've observed a lot more people are using WhatsApp than social media.
Interesting. That's actually quite true. And I think WhatsApp is actually considered a social media platform now because people just need to have your number and they can talk to you. I don't need to know you, like actually know you, right? Now with things like channels and all these different things, that it's way more than just I used to send people messages.
Yeah. So, and it's fascinating to look at South Africa in specifically, and I guess the question is, why is that?
So I did a deep dive because I like to do deep dives when I hear things like this, and also don't just like to take people's words for it when people say things.
Yes.
And one of the key reasons is people in South Africa are going online less and less because of the lack of authenticity online. So there's this lack of authenticity, and a lot of people. So one of the stats I found is, and this was a study from 2024, so last year, South African youth found that 79% feel social media creates pressure to look or live a certain way, while 68% said they sometimes feel inauthentic online.
Only 68%.
Yeah. Only 68%, which is surprising as well, because I was
low. It should be higher.
That was like 85%.
Yeah.
That would be my take.
Well, I suppose guess who did they
Well, yeah, it's
do
probably.
their research with, like how big was the study and you know what demographics did they use and those kind of things. But I guess it's something that we teach is don't compare yourself to what you see on social media because you don't have the full picture.
Yeah.
And you don't know, like people post pictures of themselves with cars and things like that. You don't even know if the cars are theirs. You don't know if it's an uncle or an aunt's car or if it was just some random car that
There's that
they
one.
took a
I was just walking
picture
past
with.
it. Yeah.
But I mean, we saw it today in terms of, you know, we had an event this morning and it was mind blowing to me. Anyways, I think to you and Barry too. You guys
We were watching.
You were watching.
It's very fascinating.
It was fascinating to watch because this lady drove up in her little, whatever kind of car it was, and she must have spent 10 to 15 minutes getting herself zhuzhed up so that she could take a picture of herself getting out of her car, and then by the time she'd spent her 10 to 15 minutes looking the part, she was now late for the start of our event.
Yes.
And she walked into our event late.
Yep.
And like the question for me is, are you taking photos to look good, and are you going to the event just so that you can take photos, or are you coming to the event to learn? Because for me it was just like, and this is not an uncommon thing at our events, is I often see people standing outside, you know, taking photos, and this is my dress and I got it from here and this is where, and these are my boots and this is that and that's that. And it's not uncommon for people to spend half an hour on social media doing all these things, and then they miss the learning, they miss the teaching, and then like I'm like, what are you actually here for?
Yep. No, 100%. And I've actually even seen people go like, well, especially at Ignite Yourselves, which is our free event, and at Entrepreneur Hangout, I've seen people go live, right? So they'll do a live on Facebook or on Instagram, and in my mind, I go, because people are commenting on your live, so you are 100% not paying attention to what's being taught, but your focus is so much more on showing.
Look at me
and the space that I'm in versus let me learn something, and then guess what? I'm gonna teach you about what I learned. I'm gonna let you know about this great organization that I found, and whatever. But it's actually not about that. It's more about you and what you want to portray.
Yeah, and I guess it is. It's like I mean, I'm not one for posting on social media. In fact, I've had to put some like accountability in place so that I actually post stuff on social media, because I don't post a lot. And it doesn't faze me if I post or not, and it doesn't, and even though I have been posting, it's like, okay, I've been posting, and then Sully will say, did you see how many people saw this? And I'm like, really? Like, and it is because I'm not focused on that.
Yeah.
But it's also, it's a tool to connect with people. It's a tool for people to stay connected to me.
Yes.
It's a tool for people to learn from me. But it's a tool that I'm not going to lie, I don't use well. But it's not a tool that should be used to stop me from becoming a better person.
Yeah.
And that's where I think we see it so much in our events, is people will sort of be focused on social media and look at me and look at how great my life is, but yet they're not learning, they're not changing their life. And if they were completely honest, their life probably sucks.
Yeah.
I mean,
and they're never going to post that.
Oh no.
You can never get that.
But having said that, I mean, we've seen it is the person who's posting, they drive in this little beat up old car, and then they're posting in front of, they take their photo next to their car.
Yeah.
So you don't see what their car looks like.
Yes.
And then they don't have any money, generally they're overweight or whatever.
Yeah, all these things are true.
And so if you're truly honest, you can see where people are at from how they look, those kind of things. And it's like, So it is, I think social media has become a place where people are not honest with where they're at.
Yeah.
Or, you know, I've also seen the opposite of that. People post all their dirty laundry on social media. And that also doesn't go down well. And
That's the other side of it. That's what's insanity for me. I'm like, that's bold. Like, whoa, okay.
And I mean, we have seen people do that.
Yes.
Post all their stuff on social
Yeah.
media, and it's like, I don't know if I would want everybody to know that. You know, and it's not that I don't want people to know about it, but it's just I don't need to tell people that I'm in a dark hole and I'm depressed and I'm this and I'm that and whatever. You know, it's not about those kind of things, but it is just, and I guess maybe you should edit that bit that I just. No, I'm kidding, but I'm not judging people for what they put on social media, but more often our experience is that people are not reaching out to the right people at the right time for the right things.
Yeah.
They'll post all over their social media so that people can feel sorry for me and I can be a victim and I can play the victim game and please, I'm desperate for some attention. And I'm pretty sure everybody relates to what I'm talking about, and I'm really hoping that if you're listening to this, you're not one of those people who does that.
Yeah.
But if you are, like, stop and have a look. Why are you posting what you're posting on social media?
Yeah, and I think that's the thing that always trips me up. Is like, what is your intention behind this, right? And I think what you just said there was so spot on, because for me it's like, yeah, you actually do want to play the victim. This is my opinion, is that you want to play the victim, you want people to feel sorry for you, you want all of those, you want that attention. But what happens when because if you go into like a comment section of one of those things where people post their deep, dark secrets, you'll see the split in the comment section, where you'll see the people who are like, oh, share, and then you see the other half, which is like, why are you posting this? What's wrong with you? Why would you share that? You're going to get that, and I feel like that's going to affect you more if you genuinely are in that dark hole. You're going to end up going towards the negative comments more than you would the positive comments.
Well, often people are looking for agreement. They're not looking for help. So, and I see that often in, you know, with processing. People will say, oh, I'm in a really bad place and da-da-da-da-da, and I go, cool, no problem, I understand where you're at. I'll give you a free session. I will help you.
Yeah.
But there's one condition. You have to read a book.
Okay.
That's it.
That's simple enough.
And it's not a thick book. It's
like 100 pages.
Yep.
Yeah.
You have, and people will go, okay, great, thank you. And then I never hear from them again.
They're gone.
And it's just like, wow, I was prepared to give you the book. All you had to do was read it. You had to do something in order to get my help, but
Yes.
you weren't even prepared to do that.
Something.
Oh wow, well, why should I be prepared to help you if you're not prepared to help you?
Exactly.
And so that's kind of, you know, where I've gone with that. But it's understanding that a lot of times people are looking for someone to go into agreement with them rather than somebody to actually help them.
Yeah. No, I get that one completely. This one blew my mind, this little stat here. Among South Africans aged 25 to 45, nearly 70% say they compare themselves to others online, especially in areas like lifestyle, wealth, and success.
I look at that and I do think there's a lot of cultural experiences behind that.
What do you mean?
So, you know, in South Africa, if you look at culture, how I look is very important.
Okay.
Status is very important.
For sure.
And so that's what's happening on social media, is that same thing is being portrayed on social media, in my opinion, is that look at my car, look at my house, I'm portraying the status I have by the things I have.
Yeah.
And people will look and go, oh, look, that person's on holiday. They
That's
have no concept or no idea of who paid for it, how long they were there for, what, you know, is it a work event, what is it, like, how did you get there, you know, did you win a prize?
I'll give you guys context just now.
But it's just understanding that most people don't, social media does not give you context. So, you know, I have seen it in a lot of African cultures, is that people will live in a tin shack and drive a Mercedes-Benz. And because why? You can't see their house, but you can see their car. So they drive into work, you see it, so you perceive that they have status and that they're successful because they're driving a Mercedes-Benz. But if you actually go to their house, they live in a little shack. And I know that I'm generalizing, but that is the same thing that happens on social media, is people are portraying their status on social media, and culturally we're going, I'm comparing myself.
Yeah. You know, it's funny that you say that, because like the complex that I live in, it's fairly, that's the tricky part. I don't think it's a fancy complex per se, but I think because of what it has, this man-made beach and whatever, that gives it this allure of its fanciness. There are a lot of people who drive a lot of fancy cars, I know people who live in that complex who just have a bed.
And I mean, we've seen it at schools as well. I mean, I saw it at Michaela's school, is that people were driving these big fancy cars, and they got, this one particular person got a brand new car, but they couldn't pay their school fees. And it's just, you know, they live in this big fancy complex and they just have a bed.
Yeah.
Because you can't see into where they are, so you have no, this...
How you just perceive them.
You perceive they must be doing well.
Yeah.
And it's just, I heard a speaker recently say, don't ever judge wealth by how much money people have.
I so agree with that.
And he said, because I know a lot of rich people, and I would never ever in a million years want their life. Because just because they have money doesn't mean they have what I want.
Yes.
And
well, okay, sorry, that caught me by that was like, yeah, damn, because if that's, I see something online, right, and it's like, oh, Nicole has this nice car, this nice going on holiday, that's what I want. I think it's what I want, because that's what I'm seeing. But actually what I just want is, I don't know, for example, to be able to go and have dinner at a nice place once a month. And,
you know, I mean, I saw it once. We had a client that came to our house and said, geez, I was expecting you to live in, you know, this big mansion, not this little, this sort of little complex. And I just looked at them and I went, well, we're very happy in our little complex. And to be honest, we would rather spend our money on experiences with each other and, you know, investing in ourselves rather than a building.
And it's also, why did you assume that? Who created that expectation for you?
And that's where it is. It's like people are like, their idea of success is it's a big fancy house and a big fancy car.
Yeah.
Whereas my idea of success and wealth is time and experiences and enriching things that are going to enrich my life and enrich other people's lives. And we do that through mindset, through talking to people, through, you know, empowering people, rather than look at our fancy offices, look at our fancy cars, look at our homes.
Yeah, and I think that's so spot on, because I mean, look, if you want stuff, if that's what you genuinely truly want, cool, go for it, do you. If that's how you define success, great, do you. But I especially in the social media world that we live in, I don't think that a lot of people actually truly want that. I think that they believe because they see it, right? You see the success or what was perceived as success, and you're like, I want that. And then, like, you just said, okay, you have to do X to get this. No, I don't want that. No, just give me the stuff. Like, don't give me the, I don't want to do the work for the stuff.
Yeah, it is. It's quite fascinating because a lot of people have, because they don't know what they want, they kind of go, oh, well, Sully's got a nice fancy Mercedes, so he, that looks good, I must want that.
Mm.
And not looking at it from the point of view of, I want to have a good relationship with my husband, I want to have, dinner together twice a week, or I want this, or, and instead of focusing on building yourself, you're focusing on what other people have.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's just, I think there's a complete mismatch in people's wants versus success.
Yeah, and I mean, something that you had said earlier around, like, you have no idea, like, if you see somebody on holiday, you have no idea who paid for it, how they paid for it, what happened, did they win a competition, how they got there. You just see this, right? And that's become sort of the blueprint for all social media. It's this curated life. It's this, and the worst part is that people are, and I hate to say this, but people are selling this authenticity thing, but there's nothing authentic about it.
And I mean, I've seen it where, people, I see the pictures that they post on Facebook, and then you look and go, that's not what I heard. I heard your trip was awful. I heard your luggage got lost. I heard it rained for 5 days. I heard the food was shit. I heard that you got an upset stomach and you were sick half the trip. And then the pictures on social media are, in the lodge of, or the reception area of some fancy hotel.
The palm trees, and the white sand.
and it's, there's nothing wrong with posting your pictures on Facebook, and I'm not disputing that, but it is important to be real with your pictures.
It is very important.
If you had a magical time and, the sunsets were beautiful, cool, post that.
Mm.
But don't go around posting, the beaches and the sand and the this and the that. And, I laughed at, like, the one lot, there were all these pictures of people on the beach, and when you spoke to them afterwards, you could, we've been at places, let me use real examples. I've been at places where I have watched people, like, literally run across hot sand and pour water on the sand where they're standing so that they can pose for their photographs in the beach, on the beach.
Work.
Yeah.
That's a lot of work.
And then they couldn't stand on the sand because it was so hot.
Mm.
But they poured water so that they could stand there for the whole 2 minutes, got their photographs, and then ran back inside so that, and I mean, for me, that's not
Authentic.
genuine. That's not authentic.
Mm-mm.
And I mean, we killed ourselves laughing when you're sitting watching and you're watching somebody do something like that. It is so funny.
Yeah.
And so it's just, if you are on the beach and you're having a wonderful time and, great, post that picture.
Mm.
But the problem now, today, is we don't know what's genuine and what's not.
Mm-hmm.
And, I mean, I've seen all sorts of things, but I have seen people, at some of the airports where you arrive, indoors, they have the pictures of, the beach and everything, and then they've got some sand on the ground.
Yes.
It's inside. Okay?
Yes, you're not outside.
You're not outside, you're not at the beach, but there's a set-up display of the beach.
Got you, yes.
And I have seen people climb over the barriers, take their shoes off and stand and say, let's take a picture of us wherever. And it's like, that is so funny because that's not even real.
So you're taking the fake all the way to the bank. You just...
And that's the problem with social media.
Yeah.
People are doing that. And so I guess I get the fact that people are no longer
using it less.
Why people are using it less, because they don't know what's true and what's not.
Mm. And I think also, so one of the things that this person was saying around why people are using it less was, it's because of AI and fake AI images and videos. And I was like, yes, I think that there is a part to play in that. But I believe that it's actually more around real people, right? So I follow Nicole, and Nicole has this curated feed that has eventually gotten to people, because it's like life is not, and this is just my opinion. And I know, for example, like I don't really go on Instagram a lot because Instagram is very, very curated. It's such a, this is how I look, this is what I'm eating, this is my this, and I'm like, what do you telling me lies because I know you, like I know you in real life, but what you're showing people. And there was definitely a point in time where I was like, you know what, do what you got to do to make your money or whatever. But now I'm just at a point where I'm like, I think that you're causing way more harm to yourself and to others by doing this pretend thing. And I think that's also what I wanted to ask you, like, how much do you think that's affecting people, like me, myself, in terms of having to curate my life and have this thing look a certain way?
The answer to that is a lot. I mean, when Barry and I went to Namibia, we bumped into this cyclist, and I mean, he's a youngster. He was, I think, 19, 20, and from Germany, and he just blew my mind because I asked him how far had he cycled that day, and he said, 104 k's, and just that in itself was like, dude, I take my hat off to you. And then I asked him, where are you going to? And he said, to Cape Town. Now, we're just sort of 4 hours out or 3 hours outside of Windhoek in Namibia, and this kid is now cycling on gravel roads and whatever to Cape Town. And I'm like, okay, so where have you come from? And he's like, Morocco. And I'm like, dude, you cycled through Africa? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, how long have you been cycling? And he said 8 months. It took him 8 months to get from Morocco to Namibia. And I was just like, wow. And now I'm like, I want to see more. So I said, do you have a social media page? Like anything on Instagram or Facebook? And he's like, no. And I'm like, oh.
Surprising.
Okay.
Very surprising for someone that age.
Best you give me your phone number so that I can send you the pictures that I took of you. Because I was going to post his pictures on social media
and share sort of his story.
His story. And I'm like, oh, that's a bit disappointing. I mean, I love social media, right? But I was like, I finally can use it, and you flippin'. Anyways.
Took away your moments.
Yeah, exactly. Like I was going to ask Michaela for help. How do I do this? But anyways. But I asked him, I said, that's very unusual for a youngster not to have social media. And his words to me were, I need to use my energy cycling every day. I cannot afford to put my energy into other people that are probably not that interested anyway. And it blew me away, the wisdom of this youngster, because he was right in that, yes, by him posting on social media every day, other people are going to follow him and whatever. But he's like, I didn't do a campaign beforehand to say I'm going on this trip and you need to follow me. And I had no desire to be an influencer or anything like that. It was just, it would have been nice for people to follow me.
Yeah.
But then I realized that there weren't, one, that many people following me, and two, I was wasting too much time, effort, and energy on social media, so I stopped. And I was just like, wow, he's going to have those experiences of his trip forever because he was completely present with where he's at, what he's doing, and all the experiences he's having, as opposed to somebody who's going, wait, hold on, let's get a picture here. Okay, cool. Right, now, what should I say?
Now I'm going to caption it. And that's already 40 minutes past, and for a cycle, for what he's doing, you don't have time for that.
The energy and effort was not worth it for him. And I just think, I wonder, like the lady this morning that we watched, how much effort and energy she put into her post on Facebook or whatever, this is where I am, this is who I am, and she's not present to the fact that, lady, you're late,
Yep.
you're missing stuff,
Yep.
and you're actually not doing anybody any favors.
No, you're just not. And I mean, it's so and this was quite funny when we were on UGE. So obviously I was taking pictures and stuff, and I took a picture intentionally while I was walking. So while I was moving from one place to another in the room, and I took a picture just to get that blur. And I put them all together, and I had like 5 or 6 pictures, and I had the blurry one in the middle. So everybody who was on UGE, I don't know why, I think it was towards the end of the program, and they were like, "Did you know that you posted this blurry picture? Like, why would you do that?" And I was like, "Yeah, I know." I was very aware of what I was doing. No, why would you post something like that? I was like, you see, the thing is, if you don't understand why I did it, right? But your problem is that you wouldn't do something like that.
And I mean, I know, like, I saw that picture and it's like, Silly's posted this to get attention.
Yeah.
Because people are going to want to know why the picture's blurry.
Exactly.
And that's exactly what you got.
Yeah. I was very clear and I was very deliberate about what I was doing, right? Because I looked at it, right? And I looked at day 1. I posted on day 1 and we had all these comments and likes and shares. And then I was like, okay, cool. I'm going to document the rest. By day 2, the things dropped. And I was like the kid probably, like he was sort of referencing, it's like, they didn't care anymore. Cool, yeah. You guys started, well done. Go on with your lives. But when I posted the blurry picture, oh, now that got people, it got you charged up because social media is supposed to be this perfect, curated little world and you can't do things. I'm like, who said you can't do things like that?
And I think that is one of the challenges, you know, you're talking about AI and all those things, is people have got to the point where they don't know what's fake, they don't know what's real, and it is this perception of it's got to be perfect, and I'm not perfect, so I can't go on there, or it's a perception of, yeah, that's a little rubbish, so I'm not even going to follow it.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm sure many an argument has been had over some fake news somewhere, over something,
Too many.
because they saw it on social media, so it must be true.
Mm. No, you say that. So actually there was, just this beginning of this week. So I don't know if you know the artist Bad Bunny. He's performing at the Super Bowl. And obviously there was a big hoo-ha about how do you have this Puerto Rican guy's going to sing in Spanish. A whole bunch of stuff happened. And then it was like, oh, it's cancelled. Bad Bunny's been cancelled. And I was like, that's weird. Why would the Super Bowl do that? Let me actually go check. Like, really check on the NFL site, because they would announce it. No, Bad Bunny wasn't cancelled. And it was just a bunch of people who had spread this, and it just went like wildfire. And I was like, yeah, you guys just don't, social media has made you so stupid that you cannot go and research something.
Correct. And I mean, we teach it all the time. Don't believe me, go and research it.
Yeah.
Go and try it, go and test it. And, you know, that's the problem with social media. I think a lot of people aren't trying and testing and seeing if it's genuine or not. They just believe it and it's gospel.
Yeah, and I think that's for me, like, yeah, that is the saddest part, because it's like, I mean, just if we look at those stats, and those stats were really around sort of young people.
But I think the most interesting thing for me out of all of that is that it's people perceive this positive as it's going to impress people and I'm going to get a great result. And what's happened is the actual opposite is happening, and people are becoming more and more detached, more and more pulled apart, and those, as much as those stats are on the up, I think the depression and the upset and the disappointment and the disillusion and all of that is also on the rise, because all of those things are creating those emotions in people and that mental space of I'm not good enough, I'm a failure. So I don't want to be on social media because I don't want to compare myself to perfection.
That is yeah, because that's what we've basically been given, right? We've been told that you've got to look like this, you've got to sound like this. And I mean, even if like with these influencers, all of them sound exactly the same. And I'm like, how? You guys all went to the same speaking school or whatever it is, but that's the standard, right? It's the standard that you have to be to get people to engage. And I was like, in this world where you're selling this you being your authentic self, but you sound exactly the same as everybody else, how authentic are you really?
Yep. And I mean, it's fascinating to observe how people think they have to be cookie cutted. But everybody wants their own independence and they want their own identity and they want their own stuff. But then they will copycat all the things that they see.
Yeah.
So it's, are you aware of how much that is affecting you? Are you aware of what emotions it's creating in you? And if you're not, you need to be. Because for me, are you aware of how it makes you feel? And if it doesn't make you feel good, then stop doing it.
Any final thoughts?
You were going to share with us.
Oh, yes, I was going to share. Thank you for reminding me before I did that.
So when you see these pictures, they are fake. I'm kidding.
That was my plan. I was not going to say and actually I didn't even win it. So my brother won a competition for us to go and watch the F1 Grand Prix in Mexico. You see, now you guys, if you watch this now, you know that. But if you don't watch it and you see me on social media,
you'll just see the fancy pictures and go, so he must be making money.
People are going to go, Uncovering Greatness is killing this guy's taking a week off. He's in Mexico to go watch the Grand Prix.
And he's going through London.
I mean, wasn't it a year ago Barry went to the Silverstone Grand Prix? Uncovering Greatness is doing well. We are making a lot of money. People just...
And funny, Barry was given those tickets to
But nobody knows these things. And if we really wanted to, I feel like the only reason I saw those pictures was because you guys showed them to me.
Yes.
I don't even think those pictures were posted. You see how crazy that is? Like, we have these experiences and majority of the time we don't even share them. Like, I'm talking about us.
As in uncovering greatness.
Uncovering greatness.
Why? We don't feel the need to put it out there because we experienced it in the moment and it was, for us.
Yeah.
It wasn't a show the world how, look what I'm doing.
Yeah.
It was, it's something I enjoyed.
Yes.
So, and just like, when it's a huge win that, you and your brother get to go to the Grand Prix in Mexico and those kind of things. But it's such a great example of how many people are actually going to investigate who paid for it, where did it come from, how did you get there? Nobody.
I genuinely know that I'm going to have family members that are going to lose their minds.
Does your company have a job for me?
Yeah.
So yes, I mean it's
great example.
It's such a great example because I know we're preempting it because it hasn't happened yet, but the trip hasn't happened.
Yes.
But it's such a win that they get to go to a different city, fly overseas, that sort of thing. But there is that you can make more of it, or you can make fake of it.
Oh. I guess those are your final thoughts.
Yep.
So I just want to finish with this. So if you scroll long enough, you'll find 1,000 versions of success. I want you to think about this. Do you know what your version of success actually is?
Love it.
Ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Uncovering Greatness podcast. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. If you guys enjoyed this episode, if you're brand new to our channel, please like and subscribe. Like and subscribe. More subscribe. The like part, I'm not really fussed about, but subscribe. But more so comment. Let's engage. Let's talk. Yes, it's on social media. We want to talk. We want to engage with you. As Nicole said earlier, don't take our word for gospel. Tell us what your viewpoint is about social media.
Yep.
And we'll see you guys next week on the Uncovering Greatness podcast. Thank you for watching.
Bye.